A lot of
3 abreast.
Kicked up.
Nice move.
Local yellow, turn 6 on the exit.
Simona
Viso,
Di
a lot of
Silvestro
damage there.
is involved. That's EJ Viso in the number 59 car.
Full course caution.
That will be a full course caution because there is damage to those race cars, or at least one of them.
And James Hinchcliffe was the 3rd car involved.
Yep. He
Definitely.
has rear suspension
Yeah,
damage.
he will not be continuing. Macho guys had the starter and then thought, well,
Why bother?
no, he was actually looking, I think, over Viso's direction, but he had significant damage as well.
Here it is once again.
Castro Neves comes up the inside, makes it 3 wide.
It looks like
And-
the 59 car just turned down a little bit too tight on Simona.
And there was definitely side-to-side contact. Viso tried to keep the wheels spinning to keep it going, but then, of course, had contact. Now, let's see. This will be the look at the right front, because that's where the contact happens. She gets squeezed in the middle of the sandwich.
I'm not sure she was hit by anyone or thing.
Just had a little tap on Viso, though, to get him
Didn't
turned.
take much in that corner. You're on the edge as it is. But
This is Kanaan. Handicap behind.
Tony
Wow.
did a nice job.
Boy, he got some spots there.
Nice job.
Simona Di Silvestro is out of her car. And so is EJ Viso.
James Hinchcliffe and I started the day here at the Viasat Performance Pit Center, and unfortunately we end the day here. What happened?
Yeah, you know, it's we got up to a rough start. You know, I was hoping to not make too many rookie mistakes. I made one on lap 1. We went around and fell to the back, but the team got me back onto a great strategy, and we were down to 2 stops, and I think we were running pretty well. And on that restart, you know, Simona, I think, got into EJ. That wasn't his fault, but, I mean, day 1 of racing school, you learn when you're spinning, you hit the brakes and the clutch, and he just hit the gas. And I went around the outside of him, hoping he just hit the brakes. He pinned it, the back end whipped around and took us out. So, I mean, it'd be easy to make a Viso joke right now. We're not going to do that, but it wasn't his fault he spun. He put himself in a bad position and then ended up taking outside too. So, unfortunate day for the whole team. You know, Newman Haas deserved better than that today. Sprott deserved better than that today. But, you know, keep your head up and we'll move on to the next one.
You going to go have a conversation with him?
There's no point. I mean, if he doesn't know what he did, if he hasn't learned it yet, he's not going to learn it. So there's no point talking to him about it.
All right, thanks, James.
Thanks a lot.
I am with EJ Viso. From your perspective, what happened out there?
Well, to be honest, it's been a very tough start of season. It's amazing the potential we have in this team, how things are coming out together, but for some reason I've been pretty much visiting the wall almost every session. Some of them it's been unfortunate being in the wrong position, in the wrong place as now.
And we're back to green flag racing.
All right. Let's hope for better things from EJ Viso.
By Simona, I just had a pretty good restart where I took 3 or 4 cars in the outside. I was just having has very smooth shot into corner 5, and suddenly I just got hit by her. I was putting the car back in the track, and Hinchcliffe was pretty much avoiding all the cows, and I just got hit by him in the rear tire.
A very rough start to the season for EJ Viso, and we're back to racing, Bob.
Here we have the conversation between the 2 gentlemen that got in the last wreck.
Hinchcliffe on the right and EJ Viso on the left. They are having a heated discussion, it would appear.
So much for, well, I don't really need to talk to him about it. Because he changed his, looks like reconciliation.
Okay, all right, all's well.
Yeah, man, the track just came up. They leave that big piece of track just sitting there, and look what happened. What the
Yeah. So we had reports earlier that part of the track was coming up over there in that complex, and when I said it didn't turn, I'm only assuming that stuff there got into the steering somehow, some way, and that's why he could not turn.
And there is another piece.
And they're holding him for a long time. Now we see green and not going to stall. That's Hinchcliffe. Oh, wow. Wow. And contact Ed Carpenter tags Hinchcliffe.
And that, you know what? That's really, really tough when you start back there in the back and you're going, and when the field opens up, it's almost too late to avoid a car like that. So.
And while James Hinchcliffe makes his way back to the pits, Marty Snyder is right there.
I'm trying, Diff. I think we're
Marty
after someone here, and I don't know who we're after. I've asked him to talk, and We'll see what's going on. Back with more in a moment.
Okay, as you can imagine, he does not look pleased. The body language says it all. The three-time winner this year. He's enjoyed some amazing moments in the 2013 season, but he's also had to endure some pretty low moments.
Well, think about this, Lee. I mean, if he's not with Andretti next year, he's going to have 2 more starts with him. They want to try and keep him. Jimmy Vasser wants him to come drive for him and take Tony Kanaan's place. So at least he maybe has 2 options, but obviously not how he wants to finish this weekend.
Yeah.
So, I thought you were after someone. Were you just blowing off some steam or what?
Yeah, I mean, not thrilled about that. I mean, I really have to pee. I hydrated for a 90 lap.
That's a good point. When you gotta go, right?
I mean, you know, I hydrated for a 90 lap race in 90-degree weather, and that didn't really work out for us. And just, man, I'm furious. I mean, I know what happened. I don't want to talk about what happened. All the matter.
Mad at your team?
I'm mad. I'm mad we're out of the race. You know, it's just it's really unfortunate. We had a good starting spot outside of the 3rd row, and the Pigot IndyCar I think was going to be quick over the distance. You know, these guys are always good in stops and good on strategy, and it just sucks that we don't get the chance to try and put that pink car in victory lane, because I think we had a strong one.
You say you know what happened. What did happen?
Yeah, I don't want to get into it here. It's just you know. It's just one of those things, man. You know, the bad news is I don't get to just leave and put this one behind me. The good news is we get a chance to do it again tomorrow. So,
is your frustration with yourself or the team?
It's all over the place. I'm just frustrated. You know,
and I'm in the right rear right now.
It's like I said, it's an unfortunate situation. I feel bad for the guys for sure. You know, we've had troubles all weekend with something electrical on the car, and then we finally got it sorted for qualifying. Did what I think was a pretty good job in qualifying to get the GoDaddy car up there, and you know, we were ready, man. It was go time, and we didn't go. So. We'll regroup. We'll get in tomorrow. I'll come down. It's tough, man. It's tough to come all this way, work this hard, especially the kind of weekend that we've all had here in the series, and to not be able to go and put on a show for the fans here, for GoDaddy, and you know, for the finish I know my guys deserved.
We thank you for your time. We appreciate that. We saw the car heading back to the paddock. It is a short day for James Hinchcliffe, but we'll see him tomorrow.
Here come the top 3. Joseph Newgarden comes out in front. Wow. How about that? But can he maintain it? Now they're going to be all over him. This is going to be the lap of Joseph Newgarden's life.
You've got the first 3 guys on the harder black tires. Willpower on warm soft reds. Hunter-Reay to the inside.
Oh, 3 of them get taken out.
Oh!
Can you believe what you've just seen?
Castro Neves contact. Newgarden, Hinch. There goes Sato. They're plowing in. The track is blocked.
Nightmare. This is a nightmare. The track is almost blocked.
Track is completely blocked. Stay in your car. Stay bolted in if you're okay.
My goodness.
Well, let's talk to the man who lost the first and second place cars there, battling for the lead. What was your take when you saw the incident? You need to be a little more patient. Have you ever been through a more frustrating sequence with your team than that? Both cars taken out.
No, it's unbelievable. No, it's a tough one right now.
All right, Michael had his head in his hands a moment ago, just couldn't take the disbelief of his cars who run 1-2 all day long, Lee, out of it here with just a handful of laps to go.
That's 2-time winner here as a driver, Michael Andretti.
Well, Lee, Ryan Hunter-Reay's had a chance to take a breath and collect his thoughts. He has not, however, seen a replay. I just want to get your take from behind the wheel of what happened with the incident there with Joseph Newgarden.
Yeah, we had a strong car, and Newgarden came out of pit lane, and I knew he was on cold tires, so he was really struggling to get up to speed through turn 1, and then to turn 3, he had some wheel spin, so I went for it. And see, right there, now I'm starting to back out of it already because he's closing the door. You know, I could have waited a little bit later. You know, maybe that's my fault, but at the same time, if you back it up a little bit, I had at least a half a car up alongside of him. Right here, he got some wheel spin, and so I went for it right here. And then, yeah, giving each other a little bit of room, both of us would have got us both through there. But you know, it's down to me to make the pass, I guess. I'm not sure. You know, a lot of people say that was my fault. I made the decision at that split second when he had some wheel spin to go for it, knowing that I was on warm tires, on hot tires, and you know, it's the type of driver I am. I go for it. So I feel bad for everybody involved in it. Obviously, it was a bit of a bottleneck there, and it got others involved in it that didn't deserve to be involved in it. That's what I feel, you know, really bad about. But Thank you to DHL, Honda. The 28 car was so strong today. It feels, you don't know how down I am about the fact that we're sitting here talking right now and not out there racing. But thanks to all the fans for turning out to this Verizon IndyCar event. It was awesome, as Long Beach always is. Just very, very disappointed. I'll look at it again, but you know, a racing driver, when he's in the moment and he sees a chance to go for it, I went for it because I want to win the race.
There you go, Ryan Hunter-Reay explaining his side of the story, saying probably could have been a little more patient, but that was my shot to win the race. What was your take on the accident?
You know, I guess what I got to say is it's a tough break, just because, you know, obviously we didn't have a great start, but we made some moves to get back up into P2 there, and, you know, we were chasing Ryan, and the Andretti Autosport cars were rocking it, and to be running up front in the UFD car, we were so happy, and I guess at the end of the day, patience is a virtue. And someone wasn't very virtuous today, and it cost both of us and this team a lot. So I'm pretty disappointed. It was a rookie move, and I feel bad for Joseph and Tony and everybody else that got involved. It just sucks to throw away such a strong race that we had going. So, but we'll live to race another day. We'll bounce back and get the United Fiber Data car back up there again.
Hinchcliffe had contact with Carpenter.
Behind you, all behind you here. Yellow's out.
You could tell 3 wide going into 1 was not going to work.
3 wide around here in an IndyCar does not work ever.
Sorry. Nah, I'm fine. It was busy down there.
I suspect they'll have words with each other.
It's 3 wide. Look like.
Yeah.
3 wide. Stop the bell. Speed. That is you.
And Hinchcliffe just came from that concussion he had in the inaugural Grand Prix. I don't think anybody's really to blame in that you have to go for these restarts. And we could see that every time we restart from here to the end of the race.
Well, Ed Carpenter, James Hinchcliffe.
Ed Carpenter had one of the fastest cars all day, but got caught in that sandwich going into turn 1. What was your perspective of what happened?
This guy is not realizing how much time we had left in the race. You know, that wasn't a green-white checkered restart situation. Just, you know, amateur moves.
Did you feel like it was from the outside or from the inside?
Townsend and I would have been fine. You know, the moment when Hinch decided to make it 3 wide, I think, is when it was more than any of us could handle. Yeah, I mean, you just can't stick it in there. It's just a dumb move.
Now, they put you both in the back of the emergency vehicle on the way to come here. What was the conversation between the two of you on the ride to the medical center?
I'll just say it's a good thing he already had a concussion last week. That was nice.
Ed Carpenter.
Bitter disappointment for Ed Carpenter, who thought he had a chance to win the race. He wants to win more than any other.
Hinchcliffe was involved in that accident with Ed Carpenter. Ed pointed the finger at you. How did you see it as you entered 1?
I mean, I was the last guy on the scene, so I guess that's pretty fair. You know, from where I was, you know, it could have been the last restart. It's the last stint for sure. And, you know, you got to go for it. And Ed pulled out. There's a car width there, and I went for it, and Ed gave me the room initially. I honestly don't think Townsend knew we were 3 wide, because, again, I haven't seen the replay yet, but from what I saw, Townsend came down into Ed, who came down into me. But like I said, I was the last guy there, so I got to take a portion of the blame for sure, and I feel bad for Ed. You know, I honestly didn't think Townsend could. I knew he had popped out. I honestly didn't think he was going to try and hold the outside, because you can't do that here. For as high as Ed was entering, I knew that Townsend would have been way up in the gray. I thought he was just going to lift, and it was going to be Ed and I in the corner. But, you know, obviously that's not how it played out. Townsend kept his foot in it and turned into Ed and hit me. Probably my fault, maybe partly Townsend's fault, 100% not Ed's fault, and I feel really bad for him. You know, he had a great month and was doing a great job. And, I mean, I'm gutted for the guys because, you know, we weren't great in that sort of middle part of the race, and we fought back, got the car where it needed to be, and feel bad for the Andretti Autosport guys.
Thanks, Hinch. AB?
By lap 24, Hinch has moved up to 11th place. And there's another incident on the track.
Contact, Muñoz 26.
And Simona Di Silvestro, who's actually with the Andretti Autosport team.
Full course yellow. This is for the debris in turn 10.
don't know why they waited so long to throw that yellow. There was everywhere.
Yeah, they were waiting for everybody to cycle through on pit stop.
Yeah, I mean, that would have helped us.
Absolutely.
They waited as long as they could to give every person an opportunity to pit, then close the pit, because if it ever goes full course caution and you're closed and you haven't pit, you go straight to the back.
The caution flag delay cost the team valuable track position, but Hinch was still running in the top 10 when trouble found him.
I've been hit. I think I got a flat.
Copy. Right rear. Right rear, yeah. It's the right rear. Just do what you can to make it back.
Chaves.
There we go. Just enough to get to the sidewall of that right rear tire and deflate it.
All those little pieces flying around, it just takes one little needle of that to puncture a tire.
And for Hinch, you got to feel bad because that contact happened in the last corner, and then he's just past the pit lane entry, and he's got to limp all the way around the racetrack after the tire goes down.
I guess since 3 wide into turn 10 didn't work, you tried passing where no one's ever passed a car in IndyCar history.
Yeah, we saw it. We're getting in touch with the race control now.
Rookie Gabby Chaves was penalized, but the damage had already been done for James Hinchcliffe. At the end of the day, Hinchcliffe finished where he started, in a disappointing 16th place.
And I didn't say anything about it at the time, but to not throw a caution, just because there was guys that hadn't finished their pit stops, as somebody that's been knocked unconscious by flying debris, I found it offensive. I found it irresponsible and offensive.
James Hinchcliffe, certainly not the way that you wanted to start your Schmidt-Peterson Motorsport career. Tough afternoon after a tough weekend.
Yeah, I mean, toughest 16th place I've ever had, but it's too bad. You know, I think we found some things for pure speed in the car. Unfortunate to get caught out by not having that yellow when we should have, and getting hit by Gabby there and going a lap down. It's one of those things.
That was Graham Rahal hitting pit road. Contact on the front stretch. Hinchcliffe's into the wall and more.
And Sato.
We've caught up with James Hinchcliffe. James, what happened?
I mean, Carlos was an idiot. He was pushing me wide through 12 and 13 coming to the start. We get to the start-finish line, and he just drives me straight into the wall. It was such an unnecessary BS accident to happen. And you know what? He got a nice big check in Indy. We're sending him the crash damage bill for that, because that is an absolute crime. So mad. It was so unnecessary. There's plenty of room on the racetrack. It's lap 1. It was a joke. We will definitely be talking after this.
What do you do now with the car? Can you get it repaired and get back out?
We're going to try. I mean, as long as he's still out there, there's probably going to be some more accidents, so we'll try and go and get the car back out there and pick up whatever points we can. But I'm just gutted. This weekend started with a ton of potential. The car was fast. The aero guys had, a really quick car off the truck. And, yesterday we have a mechanical failure, takes us out of a top 5, and today we have morons just driving people off the road.
Has there been bad blood between you and Muñoz in the past? Anything in the past that would have brought this up?
No, we were joking around before the start of the race. He's not a bad kid. It's just it was so stupid. I mean, even like I said, coming through 12 and 13, coming to the green, he was giving me absolutely no room. I don't know if there was someone on the inside of him. I haven't seen it yet. It doesn't really matter. It is what it is. It's over. He's in. We're out in a big way, and it's just really disappointing.
James Hinchcliffe very upset, Alan. We're slipping and sliding, so we're going to find out if Elio's car is still good enough on blacks to be able to hold off Will Power, who will put the reds on when he comes in.
There was a little bit of hand signal there from Hinchcliffe. Did you catch that, Scott? You use that in Canada?
I was going to say that's not Canadian, but he's Canadian. But Spencer Pigot was the car that went by. Remember, Spencer had that problem in the pit lane, and he has been one of the quickest cars on the racetrack as I've been watching the times here. So he's certainly got a car underneath him that's capable of going very fast.
And it looks like Hinchcliffe is suffering a little bit with his handling right now.
Hinchcliffe backed out in the drivers' meeting today. The drivers were warned and reminded as they nearly come together.
There it goes. Oh, no. That's the big one. That's the big one. Big crash.
Oh, boy. Hildebrand, Jones. Hinchcliffe, Oloshin, and then many others up front. This and Hunter-Reay is about as big as we ever see in IndyCar.
Little oil fire there for Hunter-Reay on the headers, and you can see the frustration from, I think that's either Connor Daly or Muñoz. The front and rear was knocked off.
Well, we knew it was going to happen at some point. He came off turn 2 and got down on the side draft of Tony Kanaan, touched his back tire with his front tire, and then got into it looked like he got into a tank slapper kind of back and forth.
How smart does Max Chilton look right now?
Wow.
I want to get Chip Ganassi's view on this. Chip, you've seen the replay, or we can show it to you now. What do you think? Was this Tony's fault?
Well, Katie, you know, first of all, I want to say this is the kind of racing we're trying to avoid. And you had the 5-car out there. That 5-car crashed in the pit lane, was trying to crash all night, and he stuck his nose in that situation right there. Why didn't the 5-car just stay right there? Okay, instead, he gets pushed down to Tony, and everybody knows going into turn 3, there's an undulation to pavement. It's damn hard to keep these cars going straight, and these guys want to take it 3 wide with 100 laps to go. I got no understanding why.
Are you saying anything to Tony right now?
No, he's got the car turned off. We can't talk to him.
All right, we heard Chip's view.
You were very adamant, very upset on the radio. With who?
Tony. It's a shame, man. I mean, he's the most experienced guy in this kind of racing, and you know, unfortunately, Texas isn't what it was. It's gone back to what it used to be, what we got away from. You know, I got to run off a 2 here. If you look now, he's 2.5 car widths to our right, or to our left, sorry, and then just drove me straight into McHale. We were 3 wide. Either his spotter didn't tell him we were 3 wide, or he didn't care. Which I find hard to believe, because Tony doesn't race like that. So it was really surprising to see him keep. I mean, look how far away from me he is, and he just goes right. I don't know if he knows the corner's left. You know, it's such a shame, man. I mean, it turned into way more of a pack race than we've had here in a long time, which unfortunately leads to situations like this. A lot of good cars taken out. Glad everybody's okay, but we had such a good car, man. We got that penalty earlier for the pit lane thing, and I'm gutted for Elio. That was really unfortunate. You know, he came right out in front of me all the way to the fast lane. I tried to go around him and looped it. Rookie mistake, and took a good car out. I feel bad for those guys. But then we were racing our way back up to the lead lap. You know, we were side by side with Will for the front of the field, and we were coming back up. You know, I think we got ourselves up to 5th. I mean, the car was awesome. The Aero Electronics car was incredible. That last pit stop from the Schmidt-Peterson Motorsport guys was great. It's just super frustrating on a day that was going so well like that.
I want to get your reaction. Chip Ganassi just said a moment ago that maybe you should have lifted because you were in the middle of 3 wide. What's your thought on that?
I think that's adorable. You know, I wasn't the last guy to the 3 wide. If anybody, if he wants to play that game, McHale probably should have lifted, being the last guy to the party. But Tony turned right into a left-hand corner, so it's a shame. We wrecked a lot of good race cars, and he got away with it. I mean, he was involved in the Rossi deal. I didn't see that one totally, but I know he was involved in it. He got away with this one. It's like I said, he doesn't normally race like that. I don't know what happened.
Now the big one.
Yeah, I think I have to apologize to Hinch. I move up a little bit for sure, and I hate to do that. I mean, definitely it was not on purpose. Yeah, and we got tangled, so it's a shame. I mean, obviously that's not the way I drive. I don't like to crash people. We got a penalty. We got a penalty. We paid the penalty, and we raced back. So it is what it is.
And even a second with that penalty, Kevin.